IF Warriors. In this video, I'm going to show you what tools to use to measure your calories. What is going on, IF Warriors? It's Edward V, back again. Of course, every Sunday, trying to drop intermittent fasting, weight loss, muscle building, fitness info. So for this video, I like to make my videos based on the high demand, which is contingent on the questions that I receive. So if I receive a question, a high amount of questions regarding the same issue, then I will create a video for it, just because this is what you guys are asking for, and I'm trying to give you the knowledge that you want to hear. So moving into this video, how to measure the amount of calories that you're supposed to take in. There are many ways that you can do this. Well, not really. There's a few ways that you can do this. One way, the way that I did it, is that I measured my BMR, and then I eliminated about 500 calories from that BMR number. Now, that doesn't mean that that is the only way, nor does it mean that that is the way that you need to do it. I feel that the BMR calculation is the more safeguard way to do it, because the TDEE, which is the total daily energy expenditure, is a good tool. And I would probably go as far as to say that it is more of an efficient tool than the BMR calculation, minusing the 500, which is what I do. The reason, though, that the BMR is the safest bet is because you would know that you are in a caloric deficit if you're below your BMR. And why? Because that is your basic metabolic rate. And your base metabolic rate, which means if you were not to do anything at all, if you were in a coma, the BMR will be how much weight you would lose a day. This is with not even lifting your pinky finger. If you were just resting, just the act of breathing and the act of being alive, and your brain, the electrons in your brain, and your heart beating, and your blood pumping, and all of that stuff that you don't do manually, that's done automatically, would have you lose the amount that's in your BMR. Now, the TDEE asks you to give it information regarding your work life, what you do, how do you go to the gym, are you intense when you go to the gym, are you not intense, are you kind of intense, are you, do you lift? It doesn't ask you if you lift weights. It just asks how intense you are in the gym. Do you stand when you work? Do you sit down? Like, are you a mailman? Because that's high activity. So you can see how that number could easily change over the course of a month or 2 months, which would require you to go back into it to find out what's going on. Or to switch it, or to give it new information so you get a new calorie deficit number. The reason why I'm now telling people to use the TDEE, because people want an accurate number based on their activity. So when people keep writing to me and asking me, well, I don't know, how much am I supposed to lose? Is it supposed to be below 1,000? I'm doing 1,000 calories. Don't do 1,000 calories. I specifically put a rule there. I said anything below 1,200 calories is a no-no. If your BMR minusing 500 would take you below 1,200, you don't go down there. You don't go below 1,200. You want to still get a healthy amount of calories per day. So you're not gonna go below 1,200. So if let's say your BMR was, 1,500. Taking out 500 would take you down to 1,000 calories. You don't go down to 1,000 calories. There's no need for that. There's no need for you to go down to 1,000 calories. If you're above 1,200, you will lose weight. No human being needs to be below 1,200 calories, okay? So, with that being said, understand, I used the BMR to know what my base metabolic rate was, so that I knew 100%, no matter what activity I did, no matter if I didn't do an activity this week, or if I did do an activity this week, or if I only went to the gym 3 times this week and not 4 times, or if I only was able to do 2 times and not 4 times because of whatever reason, went to Orlando or something, or went to, a vacation area or something like that. Whatever the case is, I knew that I would still be at a caloric deficit. That's why I used the BMR. A lot of people would say, okay, well, that's too aggressive to just be below your BMR. That's fine. But I also took into account that if I wanted to be 4% body fat, which was a goal of mine that I reached at one point. If I wanted to reach 4% body fat, right? What I needed to do was I calculated how much of a deficit I needed to be at 4%. So like if my weight was that low, if my weight was down there, how much would I need to consume so that I can be at a deficit, so that I can get to 4% body fat? And I calculated the future of my weight, like at 5% to get to 4%, right? Depending on my lean mass and my body fat and how much that would need to be taken off. So what my weight would be at 5% body fat, 4% body fat, and what I would need to do to be at a caloric maintenance for that percentage. And then I targeted that number and then never let it go. So a lot of people say, oh, you're between 1,500 and 1,700. That's way too low. That's how low I would need to be at 4% body fat if my weight was all the way down there. Of course, I've stabilized myself so that I'm at a more, at a more easier to maintain body fat percentage where it's flawless, where it's seamless. It's not like I'm paying so much attention so I could get there. I paid attention so that I could get to the 4% at one point, and then I just let it relax and I went up. Now I'm like, I straddle between 7 and 8%. Sometimes I might go down to 6. It all depends, like how aggressive I go. But that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. For those who criticize the 15 to 1,700, the reason I selected that number is because I wanted to have the number already that I needed to be at 4%. Then, no matter what, I know I could lose weight because I'm at I know I'm always at a caloric deficit if I want it to be. For me to go back to maintenance, I go to maintenance sometimes every now and then. My maintenance is like 2,700 and something. I go there all the time if I want to just stay where I'm at. But I'm not in fear of my muscles being gone because of the HGH that goes up. Plus, I've already tested it on my body for 8 months, and I've already explained to you 97% of my muscle tissues remain the same. Did not deteriorate at all. With a heavy cut, which was 15 to 1,700 calorie intake. You can see my video 3 years ago where I'm explaining, and I'll tell you the calorie count right there. I tell you the calorie count right there, and I say I do 1,500 to 1,700. That was an 8-month cut. But it looks like I built muscle during that 8-month cut, doesn't it? All I did was retain muscle. All right? So there you have it, guys. If you have a very active lifestyle and you want to know what your deficit would be accurately and as efficiently as possible, the TDEE is the best way to go. But if you want to just be at a caloric deficit without even having to think about what you did this week, what you didn't do this week, the BMR is the best way to go. So those are your two choices that you have to measure how much calories you're supposed to take in. And I like to be super honest with you guys. I recommend the TDEE because it's more accurate, but I use the BMR for myself. And also, you know, to me, the BMR, if you want to be accurate at all times without having to worry about any certain scenarios that you have to complete that you haven't completed, then the BMR is the best way. Like I said, some people might think it's too aggressive, but I don't think so, because as long as you're above 1,200 calories a day, you have enough calories for all the health stuff that you need in terms of calorie intake. So have a good one. I'll see you next week, IF Warriors. If you need any other information for any other videos that I've had in the past, I have one here and I have one here. And also, please subscribe. I'll gladly appreciate it. Have a great one, IF Warriors. See you on Sunday. I think that was you know, it's what you shouldn't do, but I feel like you guys want to know what you should do. And that's what I'm about to do right now. So 5 golden rules. It's not going to be in any specific order. Nothing is more important than the other or less important than the other. They're just part of the puzzle pieces that make everything work for you and assist you with the fasting. Number 1, that's how your body works. So you will never get to your organs, because you will probably be already in your deathbed by the time you get to your muscles. And yeah, 0% body fat, you'll probably just die from some type of a sickness or something like that. So why does your HGH go up? Your HGH goes up to protect your muscle tissues. But what is happening exactly is, the reason it's going up is because your body's detecting that you're not eating. When your body detects that you're not eating, it shoots your HGH up to ensure